Time to say goodbye to the big dog and head to CiderCon. I had a little bit of help on the way from Mr. Stone. And then I caught up with Joe Getz of Current Cider in Percy, Pennsylvania. He sent me on with 2 cases of cider. Thanks, Joe. Then I had a little run-in with the police officers in Frederick, Maryland, but I did make it to Distillery Lane. There I met Chuck Shelton of Albemarle Cider Works. And I finally made it to CiderCon. I got to hang out with Philip Clem of Gitchigumi. We ate at Ebenezer's Ethiopian restaurant in Baltimore. That was a great day. And then on Wednesday, I met with Trevor Baker of Noble Cider in Asheville, North Carolina. And then I moved on with Marcus Robert of Titan Cider Works in Washington State. And hey, there's Maddie Beeson. In the afternoon, it was time for the cider share, where I got to see friends like Jake and Meredith and Nicole of Santa Cruz Cider and Robbie of Tanuki. This is a new cider maker out of Virginia. And that's Brent from Ontario and Chris from British Columbia. I recorded a chat with Alex Peckham of Peckham Cider in New Zealand. And these 2 guys, they're makers at Zephyr Cider, also in New Zealand. And that's Joby, a good friend from back in my spot of Ciderville. It was tons of fun. That evening I did a recording with Kurt Billingsley of Big Fish Cider Company in Virginia. It was a wonderful day, but up early in the morning, the board was already at it, opening the ceremonies on Thursday. I got to meet Dale Brown of Cider Market LLC and Paul Vanderhyde of Vandermill in Michigan. These are 2 cider enthusiasts, Evan and Laurel. And that's John Edwards doing his presentation on chemical fingerprints. And that's Chad of A Grand Illusions, a new cider bar in Pennsylvania. And then I was on to another recording with Rebecca DeCramer. And that's Matt DeLong of Ridge Cider in Michigan. And then I had dinner with Carla Hine of Ramborn. That evening I took a little bit of me time and practiced my Japanese martial art, Aikido. And in the morning I met with Ethan from Fargo, North Dakota, Wild Terra Cidery. And here's Adam Levy, the alcohol professor. And then my 2 cider buddies, David and Erica. But I was still recording, and next up was a chat with Susanna and James Forbes of Little Pomona Cidery and Orchard in Herefordshire. Here they are again with Robbie Honda. That evening I got to see the Caton Memorial before heading over to Pour the Core in Baltimore. Up early in the morning with the Talking Pommes and heading home, but not before making a stop at Perryville, Maryland. That little pair was more than overwhelmed and pretty ecstatic upon seeing Perryville everywhere in big letters. Here's downtown Perryville. Well, who knew? We saw the New York City skyline before heading home to the big dog, who was more than happy. Listen to the full podcast, episode 115, Baltimore Speaks Cider.